Hello, welcome. Thank you for joining us today for the Awards and Recognition Committee 2020 nominations webinar. My name is Jackie Nicholl. I am currently the chair of the Awards and Recognition Committee. Also presenting today, will be the vice chair and the past chair. But to start with, if you have any questions as we go along, there's a message box there on your screen. If you put your questions in that message box, we are recording this. It will be available online after the webinar. So moving forward, today we're going to briefly discuss the different awards. We're going to talk about the different award categories. We're going to talk about the nomination process itself. We have some suggestions on perhaps it might be helpful to submit a winning nomination. And then we're going to talk about the deadline, which this year we're a little bit later than we were last year. For the Global and USA only awards, we're looking to have them due June 30th by 5 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. The Canada Council will be briefly talking about some of their awards. They also have the due date of June 30th. Moving forward, I mentioned my name is Jackie Nicholl. I am the awards chair. Eileen Connors, she's the awards vice chair. She will be talking about hints and suggestions on submitting a nomination. And Rocky Lopes, our past awards chair, he will be providing his expertise and knowledge on the background of the awards themselves. So with that, I'd like to make you aware that this last year we had approval for the winners to receive a $315 credit towards their USA conference registration. Fortunately, again, this year the board has approved this, so each winner in the Global and USA only categories will receive a $315 reduction on their USA conference fee. In addition to that, we have new this year, because there is so much work and thought and effort put into each nomination, we received approval to have one nominator of a winning entry receive up to $625 credit towards their USA conference registration. And this will be basically, of all the winners, each nominator's name will be put into a hat, so to speak, and then one name will be selected and that person will receive the credit towards their conference registration. So many thanks to the board for that. With that, I'm going to turn this over to Rocky to talk about the awards.
Thank you very much, Jackie. It's a pleasure to be here and to join our colleagues in the IAEM and describing the different awards that are out there. If you will advance the slide, please, Olivia. Thank you. There are 16 awards available for entry by anyone who wishes to participate in the IAEM Awards program. And it gets a little confusing when we use the word category, and just a simple thing to keep in mind is a category is an award. So I'll begin describing the awards available for any IAEM member from any council, USA, Canada, Oceania, anywhere in the world. It begins with the Business and Industry Preparedness Award. That award has been given out for many, many years. It focuses on excellence in implementing a program that plans for multiple hazards and sets priorities and is cost effective and links all levels of an organization. This is intended for a for-profit company that has implemented a program that has major impact when disaster strikes. It can include utility companies, private and waste sanitation districts, building supplies retailers, grocery stores, box chain stores, manufacturing facilities, and others. But the main focus of this is a category of award for private industry, for-profit companies to participate. The activity that may be nominated needs to have been conducted primarily during the calendar year of January 1 through December 31, 2019. So if a business or industry did something really unique for the response to the global pandemic that probably occurred sometime in 2020, you'd have to hold off nominating that for next year. So we're really looking at last year's activities done for really all the award categories that I'll be describing. So the first one at the global level is for a for-profit industry that's done something unique and outstanding for recognition for disaster response when something happens. The second award available at the global level is called Partners in Preparedness. This has been around for about 20 years, and it recognizes a public and private cooperative relationship. So between a government agency and a private sector business working together to result in effective and efficient incident management or emergency management or homeland security processes. There are two awards certificates given, one for the government partner and one for the private partner. So this award is primarily for a partner group working together to address an emergency management issue or condition in a community anywhere in the country or in the world. The third award, and available to anyone in the world, is public awareness. This has changed slightly. In the past, we used to have 3 subcategories of this award, and now it's been all rolled up into one. So there's one public awareness award available, and it's for traditional public awareness activities, newsletters, publications, public awareness campaigns, audiovisual products, web innovations and content, public service announcements, anything that is public awareness oriented and conducts some form of public education and outreach to help people and the public as a whole prepare for disaster, and provides innovative methods to get people engaged and involving themselves in preparedness for disaster. And then the fourth award available globally is Technology and Innovation. And this recognizes development of technology to improve emergency management operations, as well as public education or the emergency management and homeland security field. Examples of this have been apps and web application products that have been used to promote all sorts of emergency management related activities. We'll be asking for provision of screenshots and other examples that demonstrate the value of the technology or innovation that has been created. So these are the 4 core global award categories. There's 2 other global awards that I'll describe in a few moments. Olivia, please advance the slide. Now, looking at the USA Council of the IAEM, there are 5 awards unique to the USA Council. Our oldest award is the Clayton R. Christopher Memorial Award, and that is for a local emergency manager who has performed outstanding emergency management service over the lifetime of his or her career. It is focused at a local emergency manager only. So that needs to be a county for City Emergency Manager. And this is traditionally decided on in cooperation with IAEM Region 4. However, I want to really stress this award is available for anyone in the USA Council. It's not Region 4 only. It's open to the entire United States. The next award available for USA Council members is the Emergency Manager of the Year. And this is for an individual who has performed outstanding emergency management service and contributions to our profession. This is open to a wider group of people than the Clayton R. Christopher Memorial Award, because the Clayton R. Christopher Award is for a local city or county emergency manager only. The Emergency Manager of the Year is for anyone who serves in an emergency management role in all of our professional applications, including our professional allies in healthcare, universities, colleges, and so forth. There's a wide variety of caucuses that the IAM offers. Any of individuals affiliated with a caucus of the IAM who's performed in an outstanding way may be eligible for nomination for the Emergency Manager of the Year. The next award in this category is Career Excellence. Career Excellence looks at the lifetime contributions of an individual who has served our profession and their respective communities in an outstanding way. These awards, these three that I just described, the Clayton R. Christopher Memorial Award, the Emergency Manager of the Year Award, and the Career Excellence Award, are related. So if you're thinking of an individual who's done outstanding work and contributions to our profession as emergency managers, read the information on the IAM website that describes these awards more specifically so you can identify where your nominee may best fit. If you're not sure where the best fit may be, please ask questions all during this process. Jackie and Eileen and Rebecca Campbell at IAM headquarters remain available to you to field those kinds of questions and help provide guidance to you on where your nomination may best fit. And please lean on them to ask these kinds of questions so that you can invest your writing skills for developing the applications well, so you can target it to the best category of the awards that are available. There are two more awards available for USA entries, and that is the Emergency Management Volunteer of the Year, and that is what it sounds like. It's for someone who serves as a volunteer and providing emergency management services for preparedness, mitigation, response, recovery, all of the phases of emergency management. Anyone who's provided contributions in an outstanding way during calendar year 2019 may be nominated for the Emergency Management Volunteer of the Year. And then the fifth award available for USA only is the Emergency Management Voluntary Organization of the Year Award. A voluntary organization may be a member of the National Voluntary Organizations Active in Disaster and VOAD, or be recognized by FEMA and the IAM as a voluntary organization. It doesn't necessarily mean it's led only by volunteers. It may have paid employees, but it's primarily a voluntary effort that contributes to the contributions that organization makes for betterment of response, preparedness, mitigation, recovery, and so forth. So those are 5 of the USA award categories available. They remain the same awards as have been available in years past. Please advance to the next slide. There are 3 awards for the USA Uniformed Services Caucus members, and they remain the Auxiliary Member of the Year Award, the Civilian Uniformed Services Emergency Manager of the Year Award, and the Military Uniformed Services Emergency Manager of the Year Award. So it's pretty clear if you're in the military which category someone may fit in. If they're in the official auxiliary of a military organization, they fit in that category. If they're a civilian or such as a contractor working in a military or supporting a military organization, they'd fit in the civilian category. And if they are a uniformed active duty member of any of our U.S. military organizations, they would fit in the Military Uniformed Services Emergency Manager of the Year category. The difference with these awards is that we allow an 18-month span of activity from July 1, 2018 through 31 December 2019. And the reason why there's 18 months here is that we understand from our colleagues in the Uniformed Services Caucus that the military shifts positions and personnel over periods of time, and this expansion of the award eligibility timeline was done at the request of the Uniformed Services Caucus. Please advance to the next slide. There are 4 awards available that are related to students in our emergency management practice. 2 of them are global and 2 of them are USA only. The 2 awards available to any USA Council member is a Student of the Year. Student of the Year is someone who, excuse me, is a recognized student of emergency management and has made outstanding contributions to the profession of emergency management and all the phases that we practice. The Student Ally of the Year is someone who supports students being involved and engaged in emergency management. So this can be for anyone who is an ally of the students. The student themselves falls into the Student of the Year category. The supporter or ally of those students falls in the Ally Award category. And then the USA has IAEM student chapters based at college campuses around the United States. So there is a Student Chapter of the Year award, and there's also a Student Chapter Advisor of the Year award. And again, this is for chapter activities and the advisor during the calendar year of 2019. So again, it's been a little confusing that there's 4 awards for students. 2 of them are available for anyone in the world. That's the Student of the Year and Student Ally of the Year. And 2 of them are available USA only. But all 4 of these awards are available for USA members. Just 2 of them are restricted to USA members, and that's the Chapter of the Year and the Chapter Advisor of the Year. And the reason why they're restricted is that there are, to our knowledge, no student chapters or chapter advisors outside the United States. Please advance to the next slide. IAEM Canada is partnering with the Global Awards Program, and they are offering, in addition to the global awards that I already described a few moments ago, 4 additional awards that are shown on this slide. A Career Excellence Award that's similar to the USA Career Excellence Award, recognizing career contributions to over a lifetime of someone making contributions to Canadian emergency management activities. There is also the IAEM Canada Emergency Management Volunteer Award, and that again is very similar to USA's Volunteer of the Year Award. Then there are two awards from Canada that are unique to IAEM Canada. One is a Prepared Community Award that describes methods that people or active supporters have undertaken to help communities prepare for disaster and be able to respond when something happens, be more resilient so they bounce back more quickly after disaster strikes. And then a Merit Award, again, is unique to Canada, and the Merit Award recognizes an individual organization for having performed a significant contribution to the emergency management field in Canada in recent years. So the Merit Award is similar to the Emergency Manager of the Year Award in the US. They have different names, but many similarities. I want to reaffirm, without getting too far ahead, you can find a lot more information that describes the purpose, eligibility, qualifications of all of the awards on the IAEM website in the awards section. And Jackie will now take it back from me and describe those resources available to you, as well as additional suggestions and guidelines.
Thanks, Rocky. As Rocky mentioned, the forms and guidelines are at the IAEM.org/awards. There is no entry fee for IAEM members for any of the awards, and they need to be submitted again by June 30th to Rebecca Campbell at rcampbell@iaem.com. And this year, because we are as late as we are, there will be no extension made to the entry deadline. So if you move to the next slide, please. So again, links to the global and USA only forms and guidelines at the IAEM.org awards. There's a link at the bottom of the page that has the information about each of the award categories. The Canada info and the forms are available on the IAEM.org/Canada-awards-2020. And as people are looking at submitting nominations, be certain to use the correct form. They're very similar, but the questions are different. So be sure and use that. Go to the next slide. So as you look at the nomination form, the nominator will be providing their contact information, and that allows us to do a brief review, and Eileen will be getting into that just momentarily. But we're looking for, on the nomination, complete information. So it's describing the importance, the involvement, the impact. The more information, specific information you can provide, the better. Each award category has a guideline that's written that will indicate if letters of recommendation are required. And again, there's no entry fee for nominations from IAEM members. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Eileen, and she's going to have some wonderful suggestions on how to put those forms.
Thank you, Jackie. Good morning, everyone. This is an opportunity to nominate someone you think deserves to be recognized for their efforts in emergency management. The purpose of the nomination form is to paint the picture of why this person deserves to win or this program deserves to win. This is your opportunity to make your case for your candidate for this award. We recommend that you use keywords out of the nomination form so that the judges, as they're reading through it, it'll catch their eye and they'll go, oh, yes, that fits this. That's why this nomination fits this award category. We recommend that you explain it as if the judges know nothing about your candidate, because really they probably don't. So you're making the case and you're selling it to the judges. You're campaigning for your candidate, for why your nominee, for why they should win the award. Be sure, as Jackie mentioned on the previous slide, to answer each section of the form completely. Olivia, could you go back, please? Thank you. So follow the directions. And then last point, gotta say it again, that the judges will not know about your nominee or project. So you want to really sell it to them. And next slide, please. And you have to excuse me for a second. My computer just went to sleep. Pardon me.
Well, if Jackie's not with us, this is Rocky. I'll just jump in to keep this going because we recognize.
Yeah, sorry about this. My computer's dying.
We recognize this.
Sorry, I was on mute. But go ahead, Rocky.
Okay. Well, what all of us collectively wanted to reinforce with you and anyone submitting an entry is that your resources at IAM are available to you now, as you may have questions or aren't quite sure where something fits, or if you have someone you think might have done something good, but you're not quite sure if they even qualify for an award. Please just send in your ideas, your questions ahead of time. And if you would like your entry form to be reviewed for technical accuracy in advance, please feel free to submit that. And it won't be judged or questioned. It'll be just look it over to make sure that all the boxes have been ticked correctly and if it's in the right category, that type of thing. And we also suggest that you ask someone that you work with or a friend or significant other to review the entry form before you submit it, particularly if someone who's not familiar with the program or organization or the individual ahead of time. Because if someone who doesn't know this program can figure out why you're nominating someone, that can really help you improve the nomination entry when you submit it. Rebecca remains available to you. Rebecca Campbell is contact now at IAM headquarters and will be your conduit for any questions or entries for review or otherwise in advance. Next slide. Jackie, do you want to take it back?
Sure. As Rocky mentioned, all the entries that we are receive will be reviewed, and if you can submit them by June 19th, there'll be a bit more time to give them some attention, and feedback will be given by the reviewer, and I'm actually going to be the reviewer. I'm not judging this year. So if something is missing, or if there's just something that maybe just a little bit of tweaking could better explain why you're nominating a specific program or individual. That's the type of feedback that I'd be giving. The intent of the June 19th is to give you feedback if needed, and you have enough time to make any changes you might choose to make and still meet the deadline. After the 19th, the nominations will still be reviewed, but depending on my experience is the missing letter of recommendation that's expected. Sometimes in the rush, people just kind of miss that. So after June 19th, you might not have the time to get what you need. So as I said, I'll be doing the review and feedback initially, but then we have a committee that of knowledgeable people that will actually be judging the nominations themselves. So go ahead and to the next slide. And again, I want to emphasize the deadline is to submit the nominations by June 30th at 5 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time to Rebecca Campbell. The Canada Council Awards that Rocky went through, those are submitted to the IAM Canada membership at outlook.com, and they will judge their council awards. The other councils may have some awards that I'm not familiar with, but they would be communicating on their own as well. So with that, we'll move that forward. If anyone has any questions.
I'm not seeing any questions in the chat box or the questions box.
Okay. One thing I did miss is the recognizing that the winners will be recognized. The conference in Long Beach is still being scheduled for November 13th to 18th. I have not heard anything to say that it will not occur. And during the conference, there will be an award showcase where each of the award winners, each program, each individual will be recognized. So I want to be sure and mention that. So if you go to the last slide, Olivia. So we have our contact information on the last slide here. So for the website, for the Global and USA only, for the Canada Awards, our individual email addresses, and there is a Global USA Only Awards Overview PDF on the website. In addition to, we just recently were able to add, thanks to some work done by committee members, we have a FAQ, some frequently asked questions from past experience that people have asked about different aspects of the different awards. So that's also available online when you go to the awards website. So with that, thank you for joining us today.
Hi, this is Olivia Galinis with IAEM. I do see 2 questions from our questions tab. I just want you to address before we end.
And I am looking for them.
I can read them if you want.
Yeah, if you will, because I'm not seeing them.
Sure. The first question is, what is the annual conference fee?
Oh, well, and you might want to correct me on this, Rocky, but I believe the $625 amount is for a full conference registration. That would be the winning nominator receiving that. So you can also, and Rocky, you might have more detail on this, you can have a day only registration, and that is around the $300 mark, I believe.
Yeah, I was just going to suggest that if you want to know, there's a whole range of fees for early bird and full conference after a certain date and daytime or day only. So just go to the IAEM.org website and visit the IAEM conference page. That'll provide you all the information you need to know about the conference registration fees.
Much better answer.
Dr. Robert Ditch would like to ask a question verbally, so I'm going to unmute him to ask his question.
Thank you very much.
Go ahead,
Very,
Doctor.
very good presentation. I did have one question regarding nominations of individuals. If I understand that if a nomination is sent in by an IAEM member, there's no charge. There is a fee for those that send in nominations who are not members. Is there a charge or a fee to an organization that is nominating a person for an award who is an IAEM member? A lot of people are emergency managers and they work for an organization, most specifically senior government officials and stuff, who are not IAEM members. Does the non-fee application process still count if an IAEM member is being nominated by a non-IAEM source?
Hi, this is Rocky. Good to hear your voice again. My understanding of the way we have approached it for years has been that when the IAEM has an organizational membership, the organization designates individuals who are their organization member representatives. For example, that happened to me when I worked for the American Red Cross, and later when I worked for the National Weather Service. When I worked for the Red Cross, I was one of the 10 designated IAEM members that represented the American Red Cross organizationally at the IAM. So we would extend that type of thing if the individual is designated by their member organization as being their IAM representative, then they would be counted as a regular IAM member and no charge for nomination. If they're not designated as an IAM member and they don't have their own individual membership, then they would be considered a non-member for purposes of the fee that is assessed for a nomination entry.
Understand, and that brought up the question because many organizations are not as large as that, and if in fact they want to nominate their IAEM liaison for that, and they may only have one, like you said, and if they are going to nominate that person, or they don't have other people that are IAM members, are they still having to pay the fee to nominate an IAM member who may have been a member for a couple decades?
Well, best way to address that, I would say, is it's all on a case-by-case basis, and so it would be best to put that in writing in a question and send it to Rebecca Campbell at IAM headquarters, and Rebecca can sort it out between the membership director and Beth Armstrong if needed, rather than have us as volunteers try to judge generally, who would or would not apply. Really, the decision would have to be bumped up to headquarters to decide. So just submit it as a question to Rebecca and let her get the answer back to you.
Thank you.
This is Jackie. I see one question about, I'll just read it. I don't think civilian contractors are eligible for the Uniformed Service Caucus Civilian of the Year Award. Isn't it just for civil service members?
It is. It can be a contractor because we have issued the civilian U.S. military award to a contractor assigned to a military agency. So
I will assume that that answers the question for that individual. Olivia, is there anything else that you see that, as far as questions?
Nope, those are the two that I saw submitted.
Okay, well, thank you all for joining us today. Again, this webinar will be available online for additional viewing. And again, many thanks to my co-presenters, Rocky Lopes, Eileen Connors, and Olivia. Thank you very much for hosting the webinar. So with that, I'll say good afternoon.
well, thank you for putting this all together, Jackie, and it was my pleasure to join everyone.